Hey, I am back. This is Tiger. Welcome to my stream. AJ, good afternoon to you. You had to write a new text for this. Rarely that we are streaming in the afternoon, but today we're doing it. We're still in the celebratory stream for the 750 subscribers on YouTube. We have already done 3 streams yesterday with a lot of fun. It was with CD Radar and Perny, Theodorus, Ravens, Lofty, and the others. And I just want to go on. Mabot24, hey, nice to see you on the stream. I hope you're doing well in Italy. And CD Radar and Perny are not here yet, but I wanted to show before we start a picture that here he is. Welcome on stream of how to break Simrail in 100 different ways. Yeah, CD Radar impressed us yesterday with his skills of running trains backwards and playing around with the lights at the top end of the train, so that I was always confused. So which station we break today? I gotta ask Perny. He's the expert in this. Well, you can see this is a picture that CD Radar took when they stopped me at Łazy with my train, and yeah, Perny was dispatching, CD Radar was driving trains to and fro, and I was held up there for a short while, and then we could proceed. So it's actually quite fun playing this game in multiplayer this way, with me streaming and the others just taking part and making sure there are always interesting events happening. So I cannot tell you what station we are breaking today. It was so much fun yesterday to CD Radar. Yes, that's what I felt too. Can't tell you what station we are breaking today. I can only tell you what locomotive I'm trying to break today, and this is the little brother to the book that we had last time. In the beginning, it is the Siódemki or something like this. They call them the number 7, the PKP EU07 locomotive. There is actually a tutorial for it, but I wanted to go into a scenario where you have to set it up on your own. This is this locomotive. Don't be confused if it says E4 here. It is the same locomotive. E4 is the type name that the manufacturer puts on this locomotive. That is the paid one. No, this is not the paid one. The paid one is the ET22, the DLC one. Or are you talking about a different thing? I hope they are all more or less paid for by Polish railways. And this is one of the oldest scenarios that we have. That was already almost in the prologue. This locomotive. It is the little brother to the book, and only 4 axles, not 6. So only 1 transition when you're trying to get it to speed, but apart from that, a lot of it is similar to the big locomotive that we had yesterday. The engine room is not simulated, unlike the ET22, and this saves us fiddling around with the pneumatic valves when setting up this locomotive. But you will recognize a lot of the things that we did yesterday when setting up the big are actually quite similar when setting up this loco.
Today you will drive passenger train from Warszawa Wschodnia to Katowice. Begin with checking the radio connection with a dispatcher.
Yes. I begin with checking the radio connection, but before we can do that we have to actually enter our locomotive. You see, same shade of green as in the other one, but unlike with the ET22, we cannot go into the engine room. Can only go to the other cabin, transition to the other cabin, see? Just transitions us to the other cabin. And for that, we cannot go to the low voltage cabinet and turn on the battery. This is why the battery switch is hidden here. Under this lid. Cab activation is quite the same. Then we only have to unlock the traction motors, overload relay. The other relay probably not. Forward, stop, vigilance, alarm. Again, more or less the same, but the battery switch is in a different place and we don't necessarily need to unlock the relays for the auxiliary things. But for the traction motor as well. Then what did we do to get the pantograph up on the big locomotive? We had to fiddle about with the valves to make it possible to create enough pressurized air to get the pantograph up. This is, for whatever reason, not necessary on this locomotive, maybe just because it is not simulated. Or maybe the locomotive just has a way of storing or creating enough pressurized air to get the pantograph up. There is no both pantograph down switch, only the pantograph up switch, and this should be enough to get the pantograph up. And here it is. Bing, connecting, and we should get a voltage, and this is what we have gotten. After that, we also need to turn on the converter. Before we do that, probably close the main circuit breaker, that we have this light here. Converter. Current is stabilizing. Then we can also kick in the compressor, and now we are creating pressurized air for the locomotive. Gives us some time to get the radio going. Again, splitter, and then turn on the radio adapter, turn on the radio, check the correct channel, number 1 probably. Yes, it is the EU07 setup tutorial, and then I will go to multiplayer as soon as we have set up the locomotive. But since we cannot set up the locomotives in the multiplayer mode, I go through the setup process in the single player scenarios where we are not in a tutorial, so that we can do everything on our own. Alright, radio has been set up, we have a current, now we need to do the brakes. Loco brake to hold us in place. Fill the brake pipe. Middle gauge, you can see how the needle is climbing fast to the marker, even beyond. Overcharged it quite heavily. Main reservoir is still charging. Now it is adapting the brake pipe. Then we, at first in this scenario, we will be probably only shunting, so only one headlamp to the right will be enough, but we can also already switch on the whole setup, the whole Spitzensignal.
Warszawa Wschodnia to 1403. Radio check.
This is Warszawa Wschodnia. I read you loud and clear.
Warszawa Wschodnia 1403 is ready.
Thank you. Wait for signal.
And here's our signal. Can release the loco brake. Wait for the pressure in the brake cylinders to drop. Then this blue light comes on, and then you can turn on the current. Again, first step, always wait a bit until it catches. And then same thing that we had on the book with 3 ammeters for 3 configurations, full series, 2 pairs of 3 and 3 pairs of 2. Here we only have 2 ammeters because we can only have full series like at the moment, or 2 pairs of 2 because this locomotive, unlike the book, does not have 6 powered axles but only 4 powered axles. This is why we only have 2 ammeters here. So our transition point will be here from 28 to 29, I think. So here's the first non-resistance position. Also have a shunt regulator. So why would Poland need 6 axles, says CD Radar? Well, the book has 6 axles. So before we drive at the station and stop at the platform, we end this scenario and play a multiplayer one. It's such a flat country. Well, coal is heavy even on a flat country. And if you want to accelerate the 2 carriages that we had on our big passenger service yesterday, then it is cool to have 6x. It's flat in game. But at least you have bridges and ramps and stuff like that. So at any rate, so English 2 is completely void of anyone. So I'm not in a position to annoy anyone. Well, it's quite nice. So most of the IC services will have the 07 or the 08. So actually the 08 is quite similar to the 07, only a bit more, a bit newer and more. It's not me that bothers anyone, well, but the people in my wake. Going to Katowice. I'm sorry, going to Katowice. Maybe I just play this one. Let's see what service that we got here. But you don't get why the 2 ampere meters. This is because you have 4 driving motors on your 4 axles, and you can either send the current through all 4 of them in a series, or you can split the current and send it through 2 of them before it gets back into the trail. So this would be a paired series or series parallel thing. And as long as you're running full series, you only need 1 ampere meter, because then you only have 1 circuit, while the other way around. You have 2 circuits and 1 amperometer for each. Perfect. So, Góra Włodowska, quite a way to go. Switch to the correct radio channel. It does change mode in-game. When you're moving this wheel in position 28, this is where it says in the tutorial you should use this for long distance driving, and this is the last position where you run in full series. And with the next step, 29, you switch it to the paired version, to the series parallel version. And this is why at the moment where you switch, the amperometers go crazy for a second or two until the current has stabilized. Oh. Someone should have told me that I was approaching a red signal. Yes. I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. Instead, I was explaining stuff. Here we go again, right? But nevertheless, we're here. You clipped the last time, that is cool. So, are we already talking to Góra Włodowska, or are we still at Psari? Since it's 33 kilometers. Why is it so often that I take over a train, switch off the autopilot, and I'm approaching a red signal in like a couple of 100 meters away? I'm still at Psari, right? Psari, this is driver 24127 requesting exit. I see Góra Włodowska has been manned. And see, the radar goes to Psari. That is nice. Then he can give me a light. I'm actually supposed to wait here anyway. No, this was earlier, I think. My pity, stop. Anyway, I'm going to leave, or I'm supposed to leave Psari at 13:52. This might be the reason why I've got a red light here.
Sorry, radio check.
Sorry, this is driver 24127. I read you loud and clear.
Alright, there's a Pendolino coming, and then your way.
Copy that, thank you very much. And he has found his microphone. Here comes the Pendolino. And here's my signal. "60 and stop." Knapówka AI is still giving us orders. So, since in real life I cannot yet see what signal we are approaching, well, this is anyway from behind. We're still running under caution though. We can see it in the HUD that the signal has cleared, but we don't know that. And CD radar is teleporting ahead to clear the way. So, since I am still expecting a red signal, I actually have to drive so that I am able to stop in front of it. Until I see that it is green and has cleared in between. That section over. But actually we are coasting quite well. Oh, can you see the lights here are different from the one that the switches are different from the ones that we had in the setup scenario. It's not just turn them on, turn them off. Can also switch them to red, so that those switches can be used for thermostat, windscreen heating and air conditioning. Now we're running on automatic signaling for quite some time. I guess the radar was faster in Góra Włodowska. Yes. He was there even before the Pendolino got there. We are in English too. Not too overcrowded at the moment. Here on the ETCS track, at least you don't need to watch out for level crossings here. I'm so hyped for double traction and EMUs this marbot. I hope we're getting it soon. It would be great to get an update for this game soonish. I'm also really still hoping for the Steam engine. Maybe we could get to destination with 2 Pantos, then detach one and drive it to the depots as well. But yeah, that would be great. Then we actually can make use of the long platforms at Warsaw. And even Katowice. At least the service would have an actual end. Well, yeah, that's true. That is the downside if you keep everything open and in an open world. What is actually a good thing here in the game, I think. You don't feel the end of the represented area so clear cut. And actually it's been a while since the last update, right? Last update was in April. It's about half a year now. I don't get why they are making the 80s version of Katowice Szczęciców route. Maybe it's something cool. Yeah, I think it's always an interesting thing to have historical routes with the old rolling stock, maybe even different signals, different safety systems. Well, on those locomotives, the dead sections are really cumbersome. Seven kilometers to Góra Włodowska. Ah, this lake. A few days ago, a video popped in Marbot's YouTube feed. PZB, the major villain of humanity. Ah, if PZB was the worst villain of humanity, then we were all in paradise, I guess. How can you not laugh, PZB? And CD Radar was faster than AJ with blocking the 5th viewer seller guy. Some Zugbeeinflussung, yes. PZB is great. Well, the speed limit of 200 will not really phase us a lot. So, coming into Góra Włodowska. Another dead section, okay. Then we will just coast there. We are not even supposed to stop, see. And I don't need to slow down. All the trains have been stopped. Even the Panto mustn't go on because we have priority.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, CD Radar. Thank you. And 15 kilometers to Zawiercie. People think it's a bit too complicated. My answer is it's German. What do you expect? A signal with sausages. This is Marbot. Obviously, it has to be complex, but it works good. So, at least in AI, imagine what players would say. Well, it was an extremely ingenious system when it was invented more than 100 years ago, or about 100 years ago, let's say that. And imagine driving your steam trains with PZB, respectively in Doozy, as compared to driving your steam engine by just guessing where you are, how fast you are, how heavy you are, how far away from the next signal you are. But well, it's more or about 100 years old. What do you expect? A German system, 100 years old. That is not access. And Marbot wants to hear the fireman screaming Zwangsbremsung at you on a steam loco, yeah. I'm quite sure the screaming will be done by the brakes in a case of like that. So, CD Radar has progressed to Zawiercie. Oh, we're not longer alone. Someone is dispatching Darota and someone is dispatching Korytów. Adam the fireman, yeah. Thank you. CD Radar says he has no idea how that works. Zawiercie? Well, we will find out. At any rate, we will be back to a line where we have to pay attention to level crossings. Marbot's German technology is beyond human understandings, yeah. Unfortunately, also very often beyond the understanding of German engineers. Oops. That was a bit rough. But this time we have to stop at Zawiercie. Can't just run through. Second but last automatic. Flashing green. That means we can already prepare for slowing down. That section. Bring us to a smooth stop, yeah. Unlike the one in front of our red signal. Flashing yellow on the last automatic with the Viscashnik 18 sign. .40 at the next. .40 and stop it is. Radio 2. Zawiercie, this is driver 24127 radio check after switching to radio channel 2. I'm on a bad track. Yeah, City Radar sent me on this track. Nil Venus. Thank you for your comment. First appearance on the chat. City Radar says he's not there. We should not look at him. I guess he is there. He sent us through the sidings. Next one is 40 and stop again. Blame the AI. as Marbot is doing. Well, it's an interesting route that we are taking here through. Why did we go across those two switches? So not to bend too much, probably. I told you I have no idea, the CD radar. Now I need to do the pantograph down. I think we got some power back. And Marbot thinks they should preset some paths for AI to follow. Rip Loco, yeah. Next time I will turn off. Oh! Alright. Thank you very much. Next time I should pay attention to where I'm driving, actually. These red signals, right? But this was actually my fault because I was fiddling about too much with the electric system and was somehow expecting to get the red signal at the end of a platform. And Marbot can see on the EDR live map what signals I have in front. Great. Four signals ahead. So at least I have my setup back here. See, the Raider says Tiger will lose all his points that he gained all time just on this weekend. I'm not idle. Because I actually thought that signal is still red. I cannot think apparently, yeah. Apparently I have lost my color sense because I actually thought this was still red, but had changed. Anyway. Some attention to the driving. This being said, I'm running up on the 40 limit, thinking it is a 60 limit. So I lost my 1000 points because I was routed somewhere in the periphery and I did not stop as I was supposed to. Or... well... what are points anyway? But this is actually still one remaining possibility where you can make other players lose points by routing them somewhere in the wilds. And the next signal is again a yellow one. The last automatic yellow. And the AI has given me... no, not me. Exit.
Hello 24127, long time no see, welcome to Łazy.
Thank you very much. So we can see the signal. That means we can accelerate again. And see, the radar says I can see what problem Perny had when dispatching Łazy, right? And it is yellow, we can go on. But we can't go faster than 40. 40 and stop again. And we're going into the left track. It's an interesting path. The signal speed limit already expired, but we're still approaching a red. So that's me finally, 24-12-7, exit given to Dąbrowa, Górnicza, Katowice. That is nice to know, but I can still not see the signal. Now I can see it. 40 and go. There is again someone on the tracks. At least I did not. At least I did not miss the honking board. And we're back on the right track. Yes, green signals. A long time no see. At least you didn't stuck the whole station. Yeah, at least you kept the traffic going. But it was a weird path that you sent me. With a bad trap. Panto down in front of the red signal. But next time I will be prepared. Drive through Dąbrowa, Górnicza, Katowice, DZA. And I'm getting a yellow distant. Nah. Or equivalent to a distant. Last automatic. Thank you, AI dispatcher, for granting me entry. Let me please see it. Now I can see it. Flashing green. Prepare for limit to 100. With short braking distance at the next signal. This DA is connected with DGZ. Alright. And DGZ is connected with GTB. Hundred and expect slow. Alright. Short braking distance. That means we have to slow down to 40 faster than usual. And go. Dąbrowa, Górnicza, Huta, Katowice. Can't remember that I ever have been there. That section. That section end. Oh, but we are still in the 40 limit. So no point in that section end. That section end for EMUs. Dąbrowa Górnicza, Sosnoviec, GTB. Drive through. High green. So the limit from the signal was actually valid up to the next signal here in this context. Probably because we never left the station area. Now I can accelerate, but I can see already the next yellow distance signal. So not too much accelerating. Track limit increased to 120. Radio 3. Dąbrowa Górnicza, Huta, Katowice. This is driver 24127. Radio check after changing to radio channel 3.
Dąbrowa Górnicza, Łazy, I read you loud and clear.
Dąbrowa Górnicza, Huta, Katowice. This is again driver 14127. I was about to request entry, but I already got the signal. Thank you very much. CD Radar says, I thought I figured it out, but I didn't. Well, the signal is green at any rate. 110 limit incoming. Distance is clear. Now he left me to the AI, hoping that I will get the correct routing. That's okay. I enjoy your routing anyway. Ah, there are other players. Ah, Darota. I see. Darota is somebody else, it's true. Number 6. And we got a flashing distant. So we slow down to 40. Repeater. Last repeater. .40 and clear. Whistling Darota. Ah! Nilvinus actually took over. So much for people on the stream being able to take over control. Very nice. Juliusz, this is driver 2412-7 radio check after changing to channel 5. Without takeovers, you would be 30 kilometers behind now, says Marbot. Oh. I know that the signal is read from the HUD, but not from the signals, so there is nothing stopping me from accelerating to line speed. $50 delay is even too low. So, towards Juliusz. And maybe I should have the occasional glance on my speedometer. And the distance is yellow. Someone took over in Juliusz. Let's have a guess. The radar it is. Juliusz, this is 2412-7 requesting entry. Uh-huh. But Juliusz is giving me exit at the same time. Alright. To Sosnoviec Danidówka. But there was a 30 limit announced. Don't need to run so fast then. Yeah, I got 4 minutes back. Here's my 30 limit. The 20 limit probably is a level crossing. It should vanish very soon. No, it's not a level crossing. Level crossings are not announced that way. Or maybe it is a level crossing, but not a level crossing with the 20 limit vanishing as soon as the guy comes out of his hut. And CD Radar says, nope, I can't operate this one. Well, at any rate, the AI managed. So why are we going this weird way here with our passenger train? See you at Zawiercie, he says. Alright. Are we still going to Zawiercie? Katowice, Zawiercie, yes. We are. Here is the 50 limit. And at front there is the 20 limit. Oh. Turn off your throttle. It's this bridge with the 20 limit, I remember. Why build a new bridge if we can just slow down the trains? And the new limit to 20? Yes. A new one. And the whole train has to pass. And luckily enough, our train is not that long. So what is the distance giving us? It's hard to see it because it is hidden by the signal for the other direction, but it is at least clear. Limit of 30 incoming soon. Clear repeater, but we can already see the signal flashing yellow. Limit to 30 incoming. Here it is announced 500 meters before it takes effect. dead section. Here is our 30. Should have gotten our order in for that. Temporary speed restriction. Whole train has to pass. We are out of the 30 limit, but approaching a signaled 40. You actually have to stop at Sosnoviec południowy. .40 limit is incoming, so not too much. But this is a 20 from the level crossing now. Distance is clear. 40 is announced. 20 is only announced on the hard, and it vanished because the level crossing guy actually made it. .60 is announced, at least on the sign, not on the HUD. Here's our level crossing. And here's our limit to 40. And we have a yellow half automatic signal. That means we are approaching a Rev 1. But we don't need to contact the signaler because we have to stop actually in front of the signal. Well, didn't catch any current. The route set from signal SGY was released. Now they are going berserk. Three guys promoting the same site. Doesn't want me to stop where people are. Wants me to stop where the stairs are. Hmm. 40 and stop, says the signal. And the HUD said there is a 30 limit incoming. What am I doing? Ah, this is where we are here. Where we get announced a reduction to 20 and all of a sudden there's a reduction, we get announced a reduction to 30 and all of a sudden there's a reduction to 20 here. Sosnoviec Główny, this is driver 24127, radio check after changing to channel 2. .40 and go. So, and this is the mean neutral section after the 20 limit. But with a bit of luck, we won't stall. Who put all those trains here? Did you build this defile, city radar? Or is this just the outcome of some weird dispatching along the line? Now here, see, the trucks can have passenger services too. See, the radar does not have anything to do with it. Okay. It's still weird that they can all be in the same block, those trains. Well, let's make some. So this is the 4th train in the same block. Have they already installed virtual moving block system here? So I only drive through at Zawiercie. And we're getting a flashing yellow. So we will slow down. Limit to 90 is announced.
This is Katowice Zawiercie. Your route is ready to Katowice Hauptbahnhof.
Copy that, thank you very much. .40 and slow, we're getting. Here is the 90 limit that was announced. Not so super relevant at the moment. And now we're going to the left towards Katowice. All the way to the left. Crossing all the lines here. Here it is, our line. Alright. Can see the next 40. 40 and stop on the next signal. This looks as if there is a train on our track. But it is actually only the little hut. And we are taking a turn to the right before we hit the hut. Katowice is giving me entrance to track number 9. Alright. So, northbound is not so super great for all the trains at the moment. .40 limit at 1 kilometer. I see a flashing signal. That is probably for us. Approaching slow. But before we will approach the 40 limit. First the 70 limit, then the 40 limit. Here. A lot of yellow lines on the jet. Good thing that we did not go that way. 40 and stop. Just a heads up, says AJ, it's almost 15:30, yes. I can see the counter. But we're actually approaching the last stop. And after that the service will end soon. Interesting choice of track here. CD Radar says no way, I actually did set up a correct route. Well, maybe it is correct. I can't remember that I ever landed on this track here. But it all seems to be correct. But we have to start with 40 again. 40 and go. Now we're going Katowice to Vanovia, Katowice. Not to Brunov, what will be to the left. Sometimes it seems you're actually trying to make me hit all the switches that there are at the station. Bombs. And that was this service. I brought home 4,000 points, even though I lost 1,000 at Łazy or somewhere, where I had to stop and didn't, and where I hit the red light. Here. Actually, missing a stop is worse than hitting a red light. But the rest was okayish. Well, guys, thank you so much for staying with me for this one. It is always fun running your routes, CD Radar. Kara, let me finish this, then I will go out with you soon. And I will be back at 6 Central European Summertime, respectively 4 UTC for another 2 hours. There are still some locomotives left that we have not tried out so far on this stream. So, thanks so far. See you later. Bye bye.